then we have the hidden past. And this is this is an interesting one. You have Obi-Wan essentially. So this would be, I guess, technically kind of if we're continuing from Dark Rival.
Yeah, all of them just connect together.
Yeah. And so then when you're like, hey, when is the first mission going to be accomplished? Kind of, when you're thinking about like, Qui-Gon still hasn't done that.
Right.
He's like still en route to do this thing.
Right.
What's cool is it feels so real. And I'm not trying to keep beating the same note, but with the West End Games tabletop RPG stuff, like that we're doing and playing through it with the group, it feels so natural to where it's like, hey, these things happen and there's consequences and there's encounters and you're trying to figure out how to navigate all of it. It's pretty interesting. But this would maybe be the first actual kind of set of adventure mission when they're like Padawan master, that relationship. Like it's very early in the apprenticeship under Qui-Gon here. So they're in Bandamere and then they're in Gala, if you call it that, and Findar. And so we have Bandamere from the kind of previous conflict, and then we have Gala is basically politically unstable, and Findar is this.
Findar is where we spend most of the time.
Yeah.
And Gala is the next book.
Yeah, and Findar.
And Bandamere is the last.
Yes, but you kind of like planet hop.
Yep.
Findar is interesting because it's ruled by criminal syndicate, and you have some interesting like Guerrera. You have Guerrera and Prince Beju and all this, but basically, this is where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Paxi.
Yeah. They're traveling. They come across Paxi and Guerrera, and
well, they don't know that Paxi is Paxi because he doesn't tell them their name.
Yeah,
he says he's just pilot, and then he fake crash lands on Findar, and they meet up with Guerrera and reveal that they're brothers and that they need their help to take down the syndicate.
Yeah, and then that's kind of, you're like, what the heck,
And from the last book, I was like, I don't know how I feel about Guerrera. Like, he had some good moments, but he had some not so good moments too. But then you see a lot of his character development and story, and you start to understand a little bit more about his behavior.
And he talks funny too.
Yeah,
he's like,
it's hard to read.
He's a character, that's for sure. He like reads funny and talks funny, and you're like, oh, this guy's kind of interesting.
I love how they call him Jedi Quan.
Jedi Quan, and he says Obi-Wan. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. But basically here, it's crazy. Like, I know it's not real, right? But when I was reading, I remember this book was, I don't know why, just the injustice to the Findians or whatever, I was like, this is so messed up.
Yeah.
Because effectively, like, I don't want to say it's like a side quest, but this isn't like the main mission. Like, if you're following Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, like, they get kind of thrust into this, and then you're like, oh, this world is being totally taken advantage of.
But then it's connected to Gala, which is the main mission, right?
Yeah, and then you start to see this interconnectedness that's interesting. But the crime syndicate, and they're called.
There's the syndicate.
The syndicate.
That's how.
Yeah, or syndicate. I don't know, whatever. But basically, they are hoarding vital supplies to force obedience.
Yep.
And so they're definitely like, whatever you guys. And this was the one. I remember it was the line that upset me, and I was like, very late, and we were talking. This is the one that has the line where they're like, "Oh, well, what if they rise up? Why don't you take their guns and their weapons and stuff?" This was the one where it's like, it doesn't matter. They're so weak.
Right.
They couldn't even pick it up. Right.
Right.
And I wasn't like an American, like, they're trying to take my guns. It wasn't like that, but I was like, that is so terrible that it's like
that they would put them in a situation where they're that weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't know. They think
there's like a
shortage, but really they're hoarding.
Yeah.
And they have all the supplies and food and everything in a warehouse.
Yeah. And yeah, just so much corruption and control.
And then they do this terrible renewal thing where they like wipe people's memories who disobey and send them to just drop them off.
Just ship them out to a random planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so...
And then, but you can like see it in their faces, it sounds like. Like they just have like these blank...
Yeah, they wipe their minds and go drop them off. And so Obi-Wan gets captured, and basically they go through this like they're trying to wipe his mind, and a whole bunch of stuff happens, and basically Obi-Wan uses the Force to like resist that and to have... He's
like inspired by his gift from Qui-Gon.
Which I'm like, was that a birthday gift?
I think it was his birthday gift. This rock, and I think he got it in the second book.
Yeah, he did.
We forgot to mention that. But he was like, okay, I'm not really sure what this is. And I think he didn't really want to ask. He's like, I must just...
He's like, he gave me a rock?
But then when he's cold in this like cell waiting to be renewed... he feels its warmth, and then it helps him like lock into the Force and then not get renewed.
Yeah, and because you do have where is it I can't remember if it's the first or second book, but where he has the explosive collar on his neck, and
that's in the second.
Yeah, and he's trying to kind of use the Force to get it off and heal himself and all this, but he can't. Because of his injuries and stuff. And so here it's cool to see already that he's able to like use the Force in a greater capacity.
Right.
That's pretty cool. So basically he kind of plays everybody for the fool or whatever. Like he makes them think that he's renewed.
And then pretends to be the Prince of Gala. Pretends to be Prince Beju. And get the Bacta. Yeah,
because that's the whole thing, is that they're wanting back. There's a whole Bacta scheme going on. And so yeah, he exposes the Syndicate's control methods, and their power starts to collapse and everything. And I won't go how it ends. It's a satisfying ending for sure. But Obi-Wan, his character themes.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, again, he just continues on this trajectory of like, I feel like, so I mean, we finished 4 books, or we're on the 5th one right now, right?
Yeah.
So he's just like this trajectory of growth, but specifically in this one, he faces the loss of identity rather than physical death. He endures psychological violation without surrender. He anchors himself through memory, compassion, and the Force, and demonstrates growth beyond training into moral resilience. So we see this young boy, and we see him put in terrible situations time and time again.
He just turned 13.
And in each book, you see this strength and this resilience become stronger in him. And I think if this situation was to happen in the first book, I don't know that he would have been able to withstand the renewal. Like he had growth and process, and even though it's a short period of time, what he's been through already with Qui-Gon has really like propelled his growth. And I think learning to be more humble and trust his master have been like 2 huge things for him. And they're excelling his growth. And I think that's why he's able in that moment to withstand this terrible process. And then not only does he withstand it, he plays everyone off. Like he tricks everyone. So everyone thinks he's been, even when Qui-Gon first sees him, he's not really sure. But then I think they communicate through the Force. And he's like, Obi-Wan's got a plan. Like, let's wait and see what he's doing. We'll back him up. But yeah, so then even seeing that trust between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan grow, and kind of that friendship and that reliance on each other.
Yeah, and when I was thinking about Obi-Wan's character growth, it's a bit shell shock. It's a bit maybe PTSD. Where it's like he has to mature. He has to grow up really quickly, right?
Yeah.
And I think Xanatos is the picture in these first books, right? He's the picture of like, well, what happens when you're removed from kind of the guidance and care of somebody walking you through this, right? Because it's like it's not full-blown war, but you're going into conflicts, you're going into political things.
Yeah, conflict after conflict.
It's pretty crazy. Because you're not in like the galactic Clone Wars yet, you know, but
this was definitely prepping him.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see that, and it's like, man, how is that hero? Because you see the hero in A New Hope and beyond,
right?
But then it's like, okay, the prequels, I think personally, do a great job of getting you there. I'm like, okay, you see us. This takes it just even further back in his journey, and I'm like, wow, you're really seeing how pivotal of a role Qui-Gon played to him, not just like crashing and burning, and you know, it's because he goes through crazy things really quickly. For Qui-Gon, he is trusting Obi-Wan, which, having just gone from like rejecting him essentially to now like trusting him, that speaks a lot about Qui-Gon, even because it's extreme conditions. And he doesn't necessarily want to like force intervention in all of this. Instead, he really embodies like Jedi patience and confidence in the living force.
And you see how much he like is starting to really care for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, because he's allowing Obi-Wan to go through hardship, but he's having a hard time. But he's like, he's trying not to like just pluck him out of it, and trust at the same time. But he cares deeply for him. It's really interesting. I think when we think about the Syndicate,
terrible.
Yeah, psychological warfare, like the way that they're doing the refresh or whatever, the renewal. When they're doing that, weaponizing scarcity, and I just think there's a bit of realism where it's like, whoa, like this is it's not like, oh, this over domineering force ability or extreme violence where it's like maybe it seems like a little unrealistic, you know. This is where it's like, wow, this feels real and gritty, and this feels like something that could actually happen,
right? And
in a kid's, effectively in a children's book,
right? Scholastic.
I'm like, wow. Even the stuff that's literally for children is always like, is this really for children?
Right.
This is kind of crazy. One thing that was interesting in this, it talks about because this is the one where it talks about Owen, and it's like, remember with Obi-Wan and Owen where it was like hinting that like Owen is his brother?
No.
Oh.
I must have not been paying attention when I was reading that part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, because I remember that. And where,
like Uncle Owen?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But then that's clearly removed, so that's like a thing that's just not a part of it anymore. Like, all right. But just a cool, I guess, early thing where they're trying to interconnect things, but then inevitably, you know, the film scripts change things, right? For sure. But this was cool because it's not just lightsabers, lightsaber combat. You know, there's a lot of psychological things going on here, and I mean, when you think about a kid's book going into mind control, authoritarianism, you know, it's like that's not always like talked about in the later, broader Star Wars universe. So it's interesting to see play out here, for sure.